Good afternoon, students. Welcome to our online video class. This is 10th standard chemistry, unit 11, carbon and its compounds. Let's see introduction of carbon and its compounds. We have studied in lower classes that carbon is the inseparable elements in human life, as we use innumerable number of carbon compounds in our day-to-day life, because the food we eat, medicine we take when ill, clothes we wear, domestic and automobile fuels, paints, cosmetics, automobile parts, etc. that we use contains carbon compounds. The number of carbon compounds found in nature and man-made is much higher than that of any other elements in periodic table. In fact, there are more than 5 million compounds of carbon. The unique nature of carbon is such as catenation, tetravalency and multiple bonding enable it to combine with itself and other elements like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and hence form large number of compounds. All these compounds are made of covalent bond. The carbon combined with hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur and other compounds, formed? Which bond is formed? Covalent bond. These compounds are called organic compounds. What is organic compound? Carbon linked with other compound. The main source of organic compound is carbon. What is the formula symbol of carbon? C. What is the atomic number? 6, mass number 12. In this lesson, we will learn about carbon compounds only. Let's see general characteristics of organic compounds. Everything in this world has unique character. Similarly, organic compounds are unique in their characteristics. Some of are given below. The first characteristics is organic compound have high molecular weight and a complex structure. All the organic compounds have high molecular weight and they are present in what structure? Complex structure. The another one characteristics is they are mostly insoluble in water. Organic compounds are mostly insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvent. What are the organic solvents? Such as ether, carbon tetrachloride, toluene. These are the organic compounds. These are organic solvents. These organic solvents are soluble for organic compounds. So organic compounds, all organic compounds mostly insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvent. What are the organic solvent? Ether, carbon tetrachloride, toluene. The next point, they are highly inflammable in nature. The organic compounds, organic substance which is easily set fire. That is inflammable in nature. Highly inflammable in nature. Next one, organic compounds are less reactive compared to inorganic compound. Organic compounds are less reactive compared to inorganic compounds. Hence, the reactions involving organic compounds proceed at slower rates. So, already we know organic compounds are less reactive nature, inorganic compounds are high reactive nature. So inorganic compounds are reaction rate is faster compared to organic compounds. So organic compounds are slower reaction rate. Another point, mostly mostly organic compounds form covalent bond in nature. Covalent bond in nature. Organic compound combine with other atom to form a which bond? Covalent bond. Covalent bond in nature. That is single bond. Single bond. Covalent mostly form in covalent nature. Covalent bond in nature. Let's see another point. They have lower melting and boiling point when compared to inorganic compound. When compared to inorganic compounds. Organic compounds are lower melting point compared to inorganic compounds are higher boiling and melting point. Inorganic compounds are lower melting and boiling point. The important phenomenon is isomerism. Isomerism. They exhibit the phenomenon of isomerism in which single molecular formula represent several organic compounds that differ in their physical and chemical properties. Same molecular formula, different physical and chemical properties. This phenomenon is known as isomerism. Isomerism. What is isomerism? The single molecular formula represents several organic compounds. These organic compounds are differ in their physical and chemical properties. This phenomenon is known as isomerism. Isomerism. Organic compounds are volatile in nature. What is volatile? Easily evaporation. The substances are easily evaporated in nature. So this is called volatile. So organic compounds are volatile in nature. The last point. Organic compounds can be prepared in laboratory. Most of the organic compounds are prepared in laboratory. These are the general characteristics of organic compound. This is the important 5 more questions. General characteristics of organic compounds. Let's learn about classification of organic compound based on the pattern of carbon chain. So many classification available. In this classification only based on pattern of carbon chain. What is signification of classification? There are millions of organic compounds known and many new organic compounds are discovered every year in nature of synthesized in laboratory. This may organic compounds to large extent. However, a unique molecular structure can be assigned to such each compound and it can be listed by using systematic method of classification and eventually named on the basis of its structural arrangement. In early days, chemists recognized that compounds having similar structural feature have identical chemical properties. So they begin to classify compounds based on the common structural arrangement found among them. This is signification of classification. Organic chemistry is the chemistry of catenated carbon compounds. The carbon atoms present in organic compounds are linked with each other through covalent bond and thus exist as a chain. By this way, organic compounds are classified into 2 types. What are the 2 types? Alicyclic or open chain compound. Another one, cyclic compound. Let's learn about one by one. What is alicyclic or open chain compound? These are the compound in which carbon atom are linked in linear pattern. The carbon atoms are linked in a linear pattern to form a chain. If all these carbon atoms in a chain are connected by single bond. All the carbon atoms in a chain are connected by single bond. The bond is called saturated. The compound is called as saturated compound. What is saturated compound? Carbon atoms in a chain are connected by single bond. These compounds are called saturated compound. If one or more double bonds or triple bond exist between carbon atoms then compound. These compounds are said to be unsaturated compound. One or more double bond or triple bond present in a carbon between carbon. So these compounds are said to be unsaturated compound. What is our saturated compound? Saturated compound means carbon between carbon connected by single covalent bond. The single bond compounds are called saturated, and double bond and triple bond compounds are called as unsaturated compound. This is alicyclic or open chain compound. Example: propane. Propane is a saturated compound. Saturated compound example: propane. Formula CH3CH2 bond CH3. This carbon between carbon contains single bond. Unsaturated compound example: propene. Formula CH3 bond CH double bond CH2. The carbon between carbon contains double bond nature. The single bond compounds are called saturated compound. Double bond and triple bond compounds are example for unsaturated compound. Another one example classification of organic compound is cyclic compound. What is cyclic compound? Organic compound in which the chain of carbon atom is closed or cyclic. These are called as cyclic compound. The carbon between the organic compounds connected by a closed ring. So these compounds are called cyclic compound. If the chain contains only carbon atoms, such compounds are called carbocyclic or homocyclic compound. The closed ring connected by only carbon atoms. These compounds are called carbocyclic, otherwise said to be homocyclic compound. If the chain contains carbon and other atoms, what are the other atoms? Like oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur. These compounds are called heterocyclic compounds. What is carbocyclic compound? The ring chain contains only carbon atoms. This is called carbocyclic or homocyclic compounds. What is heterocyclic compounds? The closed ring contains carbon with other element. What are the other atoms? Oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur. These compounds are called heterocyclic compound. The carbocyclic compounds further subdivided into alicyclic and aromatic compounds. What is alicyclic compounds? Alicyclic compounds contains one or more carbocyclic ring, which may be saturated or unsaturated. Whereas aromatic compounds contains one or more benzene ring. The ring contains alternative double bond compounds are called benzene ring. Example: carbocyclic, that means homocyclic compound. Example: cyclobutane. This is structure of cyclobutane. This is alicyclic compound. Aromatic compound benzene. Heterocyclic compound furan. These are the example of homocyclic and heterocyclic compounds. This is flowchart of classification of organic compound based on the pattern of carbon chain. First one, acyclic or open chain. The organic compound classified into two types. One is acyclic or open chain compound. Another one is cyclic or closed chain compound. The acyclic or open chain compounds further classified into two types. One is saturated compound, another one is unsaturated compound. One is saturated compound, another one is unsaturated. What is a saturated compound? Compounds containing carbon bond. That means single bond. Example: ethane. What is the formula of ethane? C2H6. Unsaturated compound contains double or triple bond. Example: ethene. CH2 double bond CH2. Another one example: ethane. Formula CH triple bond CH. The cyclic or closed chain compound further classified into two types. One is carbocyclic compound, another one is heterocyclic compound. What is carbocyclic compound? The ring contains only for carbon atom. The heterocyclic compound, the ring contains carbon and other elements. Example, pyridine, furan. The carbocyclic compound further classified into two types. One is alicyclic compound, another is aromatic compound. Alicyclic compound example, cyclobutane. Aromatic compound example, benzene. This is flowchart of classification of organic compound based on the pattern of carbon chains. Once again recall, what is saturated compound? Carbon atoms in a chain are connected by a single bond. The compounds are called saturated. What is the unsaturated compound? If the one or more double bond or triple bond exists between carbon atom. So these compounds are called unsaturated compound. Dear students, learn today's topics. What are the two? In this video, 5 important 5-mark questions I explained. One is characteristics of organic compound. The second question, classification of organic compound based on the carbon atoms. Learn the topics thoroughly. And know the assignment question. First question, what is saturated compound? Second question, what is unsaturated compound? Third question, explain general characteristics of organic compound. Note the assignment question in your classwork. Thank you, students.